got a full little team, and they look up at me. Big eyes, tiny feet, trusting me. I open the vault and I feel that sting. Why is the only move a cruel kind of win? You say take the prize, but I see the loss. Every extra soul is a cost I won't toss. They follow my hand like it's home, like it's safe. I won't send them back just to gamble their fate. I won't trade them, I won't trade them. I care too much to trade them. I won't break them, I won't break them. Give me something else to make them shine, something kind. Let me build them a place, let me train, let me grow. Let me match them in pairs, let them learn, let them glow. Let me feed what I save, let me heal what I keep. Let me use all this love for something deep. You say one more run could change my night, but I hear their names when you call that fight. So if there's a path I can walk in grace, show me a way I can honor their place. I won't trade them, I won't trade them. I care too much to trade them. I won't break them, I won't break them. Give me something else to make them shine, something kind, something kind. Let me give them roles, let me give them room. Let me turn all this strength into something they can bloom. Not a deathmatch prize, not a losing game, just a future where they still know my name. I won't trade them, I won't trade them. I care too much to trade them. I won't break them, I won't break them. Give me something else to make them shine, something kind. I won't trade them, I won't trade them. Keep my Illuvials alive. You're stay down. Fresh in the gate, bag gear, blank slate. You and your Illuvials, hungry, not great. Boots on the stone, hands on the rail. First slam in the arena, first hard fail. They read your move, then broke your line. One clean strike and you fell every time. Dust on your face, grin still alive. You said run it back just to survive. Round after round you stayed in the fire. Every scar taught you higher, higher. You learned their feints, their breath, their pace. You learned how to lose without losing your place. Round after round you rise. Round after round you rise. They knocked you down, you got back up. Now you drink that pain like a champion cup. scars stacked up on your name. Bad brackets, bad draws, same old shame. Your alluvial shook, then stood again. Little by little they learned to win. One move left when the trap got set. One took the hit, never blinked yet. You stopped chasing glory, started to build. Slow hand, sharp heart, iron will. And after round you stayed in the fire. Every fall turned the spark a little brighter. You learned their things, their breath, their pace. You learned how to lose without losing your place. Round after round, you rise. Round after round, you rise. They knocked you down, you got back up. Now you drink that pain like a champion cup. Round after round, you rise. Round after round, you rise from the floor to the crown. You don't stay down. Long nights, long walks back, salt in your mouth, cracks in the track. Then one clean break, one perfect call. Your team moved like one and they took it all. No more panic, no more please, just calm in the blaze, eyes on the keys. The crowd went wild when your name hit high. You looked at the ring like, this is mine, mine, mine. This is mine, 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 mine. Round after round, you rise. Round after round, you rise. They knocked you down, you got back up. Now you drink that pain like a champion cup. Round after round, you rise. Round after round, you rise from the floor to the crown. You don't stay down. Champion, no. You rise. Champion, now. You rise. The bruises were proof you came through. Under the flood glow, penguin walks in, black coat cut, cold grin, eyes like
All right, let's do this. It is Dungeon and Raid Day here for Obelisk Rising. Looking forward to this one because it has a bunch of awesome mechanics, whether it be the bosses, the dungeons themselves, with the replayability aspect of it. How's that going to work? We're going to try all of this in just a couple of minutes here on stream. But I got a few things to talk about. First and foremost, welcome everybody who's been here nice and early. Ethit, Awaken, Kirito, Reem, Nihan, good to see everybody. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, if you've been following our adventure so far in Obelisk Rising, well, you would have seen in the stream yesterday that for whatever reason, of course, is the nature of a pre-alpha playtest that sometimes you land yourself into a bit of a game-breaking state, and you kind of have to start over. Unfortunately, here for myself, of course, I was a level 41 Water Scion. It meant that I could not progress the main story on that character ever. Unfortunately, I was in a broken state. So I had to start all over, and with that, I figured it'd be no better time to then try and do the fighter side of things. We did plenty of Scion gameplay. It was an absolute blast, especially with the amount of AoE that class has. It was a hell of a lot of fun. But now we're going to be trying Fighter. But then with Fighter, from what I've been seeing from a couple of our testers, majority of them have been strictly going into Fire, which is, of course, the damage style. But I've not seen Water Fighter in a little bit. So I am going to be doing that as this playthrough. However, I'm not starting this from scratch. This morning, when once I came to terms with the fact that, yep, this account is dead, I hopped on and I probably grinded for about 3 hours, just completely skipping the harvesting and the mining side of things, to the point where I've gotten my levels pretty close to where I was already, especially for my carry Illuvial. Now, in regards to the carry Illuvial, we'll meet them in just a moment's time. Quickly taking a check here with the tent. At the end of the day, game's a game. I don't care about the Web3 side of things personally. Sorry to hear about that. A-okay. Moth Puck, good to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic day. JB, good to see you. Hope you're having a great day as well. Now, in regards to the carry. So, I was very, very spoiled that I was able to hop into Taiga Boreal. I was probably about level 16 at the time. And this Illuvial showed up for me at about level 24, and it continues to outpace me. But for those that know me, they'll probably be a little bit surprised, considering my carry is a penguin. I am very vocal about how I absolutely despise this thing out in the arena battlefield. But this thing is absolutely crushing it. I really am enjoying playing with the penguin. It feels busted. It feels like it's picking up right where it left off in Illuvium Arena. And it was absolutely doing work for me today. The rest of the team, it is going to be a Grocko for the air side of things for a little bit of extra tank. Similar nature here for this Atipo, but it is mainly a stationary tank of sorts. So, a little bit of extra support, but not necessarily that much in terms of levels. I do have a pretty powerful Flish here as well. And level 31 for where I'm at right now is actually pretty good. I do have a Doka. This thing is probably going to be the first thing that gets replaced once I find something better. But then, yes, the Penguin itself. Almost level 40. Got this thing up to Bonds level 4, so I will be a sucker and absolutely poisoning myself over to get that Bonds level 4, but of course that's a bug. It's not intended to be that way. He does also have the poor Illuvial Damage Enhancer. I could not get the common one like what I had on the Mule in my last playthrough because I did not level up my mining. But this is going to be the case. We're going to try and keep this damn Pangu as healthy as possible. Keep it alive at all times. Silver Bushman, good to see you. Zico Perico, ex-billionaire, Ronnie, good to see everybody hopping on in here as well. Looking forward to today's stream. So let's, without further ado, hop into Taiga Boreal. Because I wanted to go over the dungeon mechanics here, while I'm also going to be kind of talking about Fighter, at least how I'm enjoying it, how I'm playing it so far, since it is on the water side. Now, in terms of gameplay, the one thing that you'll notice, at least down when you look at the bar in the bottom, is the abilities. They are the exact same abilities that I was already using with Scion. Regardless of which class you do end up going into, the abilities that you get from the affinity are the exact same thing. So the AoE healing on the ground, that's going to be the standard. And the same idea here, where if I shoot my own Illuvial with the wave, I give it a power boost, a healing regeneration, as well as a little bit of damage to anything that hits. So similar abilities, that part's not going to change. It's more so of course, the fighter abilities that do change, which we'll be going over here in just a second. Hop on over to Taiga. The way the slapping is running is sick. It is kind of funny. It runs out like it has its chest puffed out. It's really, really funny. But so good to see ya. Hope you're having a fantastic day as well. Releveling mining would be one of the most annoying things ever. That's why I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not looking forward to that part. But it is absolutely going to be necessary. There is no summary for TPI. There will be on release, I do believe. However, it is not currently in the game as it stands right now. Now, one thing, every time I summon my penguin, I do have to worry about accidentally doing damage to myself due to a bug in the game at the moment. But the first place that I do want to go to is the dungeons before we hop into any of the raids. Kind of show what that experience is like. Just a little bit of travel. I could fast travel over there, but at the same time, if I find like a Riptor or something, would love to be able to try and get a shot at catching it. And again, I kind of touched on it a little bit. Did we actually hit Riptor? Is that a tail? Oh, it's a Valente. The Valente trolled me a little bit. Damn it. Okay. I thought we were going to get lucky here and find both of the water carries here today. But not quite yet. Why is he so big? What are you feeding him? Probably about 12 or 13 Illuvials to get him to bond to level 14. They are well fed and good to go. And then, yes, the Flappin basically is doing a Naruto run. That is 100% correct. I leveled up pretty quickly. I'll show you exactly what I did. Because remember how in the dev chat, they were talking about how PvE speedrunning kind of style, the Mythic Plus Invitational style, is going to be the competition, or the esports side of Obelisk Rising. So I thought to myself, how quickly can I run a dungeon, speedrunning style, and try to power level that way? So all day this morning, once I got to about level 20, and my penguin, I believe, was like, say, 28, we've been doing this non-stop. So this one in particular, going to teleport into the dungeon. And the dungeons, at least from what I understand, every single time that you go into, or not every single time you go into them, but every couple of minutes, I do believe, the layout of the dungeon changes. But if you're quick enough, you could very well get the exact same layout of dungeon. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it is the way we can go here. Like, this one's different compared to what I did this morning. This room was not where I started out. And the idea, you have a big old map here. There are a couple of different endpoints. Any of these circle rooms that you do see has a chest in there for some, like, congratulations, you beat the level kind of rewards. However, there's nothing stopping you from going into one room, completing it, grab the chest, come back, go to the next one, beat it, come back, then make it all the way. If you find yourself overwhelmed, you can leave the dungeon in one of those portals. Of course, if you're just absolutely getting killed, you can run back here as well. And with those rewards, they are actually pieces. In a second, I'll show you once I pick one up. But basically, it ends up actually being a item saver of sorts when you're doing your weapon upgrade. Since you can actually break your items when you do upgrades, it can be problematic, but these ones actually save you or give you a better chance at actually doing it. Now, I'm already down to half HP, but that's where this heal comes in. Just try to fight inside here. One thing a lot of people always forget is that the dash that I didn't actually get, I was too slow there, but it counts as an interrupt. It knocks things up. So when the Beyblade guy does his spin, if I get my dash out in time, I can actually interrupt the spin. In that case, no, I got absolutely dicked and I got absolutely clowned on. But you can see, with them all being in the 20s, this early dungeon is not actually a bad spot to kind of get started in terms of leveling. Still trying to get used to this fighter class, but it's absolutely very fun. I got clowned on again. That is absolutely incredible. I went all day today, like, not dying whatsoever, and I died twice nice and fast. But thankfully, you do not have any sort of limit in terms of tries. Alright, let's get Pangu all healed up here. Oh, come on now. Pangu is defeated by ramps, apparently. Yep, Pangus can't do ramps. That's kind of funny. Okay, here. You take that there, Pangu. Let's go. Okay. Now, that's actually not natural, I don't think. We're going to be put on a little bit of hard mode now. So it wasn't actually the spinner, I think, that's actually doing this much damage. I think one of... Never mind. It's definitely the spinner that's doing that much damage. We seem to have hit a spot here where it's a little bit bugged out. And what I will say, of course, is this is, of course, pre-alpha footage. There will be many opportunities like that for bugs and errors to occur. Like, a spinner should not be one-tapping me like that. Putting me in my place nice and quick, apparently. That's kind of funny. Of course, another glitch as well. I do have to reset my skill tree on every spawn. Oh, did I actually poison myself here as well? Yeah, it seems like we're off to quite the start here. So I'm going to be ticking damage this entire time. But let's see now. Does this thing one-tap me? Let's test this. Oh, you're gonna put up your shield now, eh? Alright, I see how it is. Okay. Let's see how far we can go here. Big old chop, and yeah, now we're moving. Although it's suggesting that there's more enemies to kill, because the doors will not open until you kill off everything. Which would be good, but if an enemy is MIA, maybe it is a good time to just quickly do a small reboot here. Yeah, because the spinner is not naturally supposed to do that much damage, and it seems like I kind of locked up the dungeon, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Vanguard is Rogue Bulwark, that is correct. Bosses and their AI integrated, if I recall. Adapts the player's styles. We'll have to see. I don't necessarily have a good read on that just yet, but I'm also maybe 3 or 4 dungeons in so far. Let's see. Makes me wish I didn't import the Dark Hollow Pangu into Deathmatch. Yeah, that's definitely rough. Okay. Let's try this again. We're basically starting the dungeon from scratch. Let's see. This is a little bit more shaped up. Or a little bit better luck. Yeah, there we go. This thing's doing good damage, but it's not one-tapping me. I did not reset my heal, or reset my skills again. Yeah, these dungeons are trying to make me look silly. We gotta kind of bob and weave here a little bit. There we go. We will barely survive through that. There we go. Now this heal should actually heal me. That's a little better. Alright, let's try this again. A 3/4 full, I think we could run with that. Yeah, because I was literally speedrunning dungeons earlier today, this exact same location, but now I'm getting clapped. Let's see. So I popped down the heal immediately. I'm getting a lot of damage done to me already. Come on through. Power boost. Holy crap! same spot, same glitch. One tapped by the spinner. And I've got my actual proper gear. I'm literally dumbfounded right now. These Illuvials are making me look silly. Death just means you had to earn it. Absolutely. So maybe we stop trying to speedrun. At the same time, the whole room will pull pretty much immediately anyway. Because, yeah, as soon as one is triggered, it's basically go time, and I once again need to reset my crap. Yeah. That's unfortunately completely unplayable, so I think we'll maybe look at something different here in a second. And what I was going to show off here, so the dungeon rewards that or the rewards you do get at the very end, they tend to be a bunch of these boxes that you see here. So the stasis lock, I believe, is one of the more common ones you can get. There's the shock dampener, the specter lock, and then the nova lock. So all of these get used when you are looking to upgrade your weapon. They give you a bunch of a safety net of sorts when you're going into the higher levels, especially because if your upgrade fails, the item breaks and you just straight out lose it, and that could be very problematic. Check out my stats while slapping is out if you're bonded to him. Is there something going on there potentially? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Look at the resist. 0 resistances. So maybe that is something that kind of comes through the bonding portion. Well, that'd be a little bit irritating. Once again, me not taking the hint, apparently. Really not taking the hint, apparently. We're having a little bit of a rough start here today. Again, pre-alpha, there is going to be bugs. There will be issues. A little bit of a rough start here, but let's try this again. Because, yeah, normally my resistance should be, 97. So what you're saying is, since I have this guy bonded, it does drop to 0. Yeah, that's a little bit rough. I'd become even more so like a glass cannon. Interesting. So this puts me in a rough spot. Just going to have to not rely on having a carry. So, you know what? This is going to be a bit of a mimic as to the situation I was working with earlier. Let's use Grocco and maybe a couple of other Illuvials, and I'll continue to figure that out in the future in regards to not using the bond system past level 2. Because, yeah, that is a little frustrating to say the least. But again, it is going to happen. It is playtest. Let's try this again. Grocco, lead the charge for me now. Give you a little attack boost here. Again, I got to reset my talents in a second. But the setup that I've been liking is zipping on through, going back, giving my guy a heal and a boost, and then always saving my first ability, even though it comes off cooldown extremely quickly. The problem I personally have with this thing is it takes way too long after the initial stab to actually start swinging again. So I will never use the first ability unless I have something else to kind of animation cancel it, if that makes sense. So I can then continue to attack faster. That has kind of been the way I've been playing this. I hope I can actually give a better showcase here of what I'm talking about. Because, yeah, we absolutely got clobbered there. Grocco, come back for a second. This is the Room of Death. Let's see if we can survive this one. Heal out immediately. Up the heal towards the Grocco. Yeah, okay. Now we're not getting immediately shredded this time. But since I do have weaker Illuvials, this will be a little bit tougher. My entire morning has basically been leveling up the Penguin. In fact, I have to actually take that penguin off my bar because I'm going to end up coming back and having it spawn automatically. Stab, power attack. There we go. Okay. So let's take the penguin off the board. I'm going to be one Illuvial down, but it's kind of the nature of the game right now. So the first part I'm going to go to is straight up ahead. There is a prize room here, if I can actually take care of that. Just checked my Dark Pengu, got burnt in deathmatch. That's definitely unfortunate, considering how rare those things are. Heal, go. 1 into 2. Come back into my heal. Finish. The fighter does have a lot more of a difficulty dealing with AoE kind of scenarios, but again, you do at least have the one interrupt of sorts with your big dash. There we go, there's a heal for us. But as long as you single target down everything nice and quick, you're in pretty good shape. Now we're going to get our very first prize here for this one. It is going to be the shock dampener. So this one, if your weapon were to break, it'll lose, or if it were to fail an upgrade, it would, instead of breaking the weapon, just make you lose a level instead on that weapon, which is a decent trade, especially if you're starting to look at some seriously good and rare gear. Okay. Try and take out this HoloLing first. With these HoloLings, you do have to be careful, like we'll see in our test in a little bit for the raids. When you kill off the HoloLings, they leave a big old pool of poison in their wake. Could absolutely crush you if you get hit too long in there. There we go. Now that I actually have tankiness, this feels a little bit better. Drop the heal. Keep Doka in here, even though it's level 16, it's doing very well. Don't step in the poison. Or try not to anyway, it's a little bit of an awkward spot right now. Dunk him down, there we go. And then yeah, the doors will not open until every single enemy is here. Or is gone. Was Pengu bugged? Yep, because I bonded it up to level 4, not only did I get the bleeding effects that we had from our mule yesterday, which I knew that was going to be the case, but I would not have guessed that it also completely shredded my resistances, making it so that I got one-tapped by everything. So sadly, our dear Pengu is going to have to sit on the sidelines until that bug is cleared. But this also means that later on, while we're looking or getting ready for the raid, maybe I can go try to find a new carry of sorts. Is there an add-on from mining that would do weapon repair? Not as of this moment. If you break it, you break it. Okay, next up. Start it off. Get away from the shiny lists. Now, even though this is fighter, even though you have to be point blank, you can't just mash your button. Once you start swinging, it's very like Monster Hunter / like Dark Souls kind of feeling, where the direction that you are attacking, there is very little that you can do in terms of actually redirecting yourself after the fact. So you cannot just sit there and mash your sword out. Take care of that one. There we go. Stay in the fight here, Flish. I know you're not necessarily meant to be tanking. Brocco here, though, is going to be coming out right at the right time. There we go. Try and find a low target that I can actually eliminate, because trying to go AoE as fighter is not going to be very, very valuable. Already down to half. Let's not sit next to the list while it's doing that. A couple of these lists are pretty low. Let's see if I can burst one down. Oh boy, that was close. Heal with the Grocco. There we go. Finally starting to get some kills here. There we go. Whew, alright. Now we're cruising. There we go. Yeah, the penguin unfortunately gave me a debuff, so I had to stop using it. But it's heartbreaking. I was looking forward to using it more, but I screwed myself again by going to Bonds level 4. Yeah, it wasn't just UI, it was genuinely I was nerfed heavily. I had no defenses. I just climbed on top of the list. I don't think that's intended. Rocco's gonna take some hit. Now, this is the worst case scenario. These spinners, whatever you want to call them, they used to be the spools, they used to be, or they are the, for a lack of a better term, the, shit, I think it's called. Oh god, lots of spinners. They hit like an absolute truck. So that is absolutely terrifying. And they just shoot from afar too. So it's not like it has to be a point blank thing either. Atipo, what are you doing up there, buddy? We drop the heal next to Atipo. Not going to come out in time. Now, I'm not sure if it's just me, but does the fighting sound a little crunchy to you right now? Maybe might be getting an audio glitch here as well. Yeah, I'm sitting inside the spinner. This cannot be good for my health. Yeah, and I climbed on top of my fleece, I think. Almost got that one down. Let's get it, get it, get it. There we go. Drop a heal next to the flesh. Keep shooting, buddy. But I'm definitely happy to be the water fighter side of things, because if I was trying to do this with fire, I'd have absolutely no sustain, and I would just probably just straight up die, even more so than I already am. Because these dungeons, again, they're dungeons. They're supposed to be for multiple people going at it together within the same, like, level range. And I'm just a sucker for punishment trying to solo it. There we go, that's better. The fighter has always sounded off. Interesting. I think when you're in full sword swing, it glitches. Okay, so it's not just me then. It's alright, something to take note of, and that's another reason why we're doing the stream in the first place, right? I feel bad just gathering essentially a list of things that are behaving weird. There you go, Flish, take some power. I like having a melee carry with me instead of the range carry, because when I'm just doing my regular combo with my big dash, for example, it makes it really easy for me to then just retarget not just the enemy, but my own ally to give it a power boost and a heal top off. But when it's ranged, I have to get into a different position. Let's see what happens if we can funnel them all up like this. If I drop a heal right here, Grocco, let's go, buddy. I think I'm confusing everybody here in this corner. They're trying to get past the big guy. And it doesn't seem to be working as intended. Let's get this into the middle. Let's not cheese this into the corner. Okay, as I say, I feel like I might have broke it there for a second. But there we go. Ooh, yeah, that's rough. Heal. Dash through. That dash is basically the only real AoE that we have. But it's just a matter of lining it up. You have to kind of hang on to it for a couple moments. Let's get our Grocco back. Start attacking the one that you want. Then you have to use 2, because that direction that you're currently holding is what it's going to end up dashing in, even if your target moves. You're not really able to redirect yourself. Taking a lot of heat here. Okay, that guy's gonna shield, of course. Let's try something else. Nope, you're gonna shield too. Drop the heal. Power boost. Finally, slowly but surely gonna crush these guys down. There we go. There is no spin. I know a traditional ability here for a fighter class would be, like, what pictures in my mind is like Garen from League of Legends, his E, where you would just do your spin, or your, was it Blade Storm or something from like a World of Warcraft. This iteration of fighter does not have such an ability. So it is severely lacking in terms of AoE. The big dash is the only thing that does any sort of AoE as of this moment. Now, this is the final room. We do have a couple of big guys here, or one big guy. Let's hop on over, get the Grocco in position. We've got bombers as well here as well. Big time AoE damage dealer. Got to be careful about that one. Watch out for the frost coming on through. They give an absolute ton of EXP if you do end up actually taking them out. And they're also prone to kind of getting stuck in walls. So if I get lucky, yeah, one of the bombers, for example, just got stuck in a wall. So might be able to buy some time, thankfully, due to the glitch in that front. I just absolutely ate that snowball. I shouldn't be attacking full health targets. I need to look for ones that are already low and kind of go from there. A Tipo, hold the line with his heal. So yeah, like, I'm getting thousands of experience right now. Every single time I take one of these bad guys out. So this is essentially what I was running with Penguin earlier. It was not anywhere near as crunchy as this when I was doing it, but that's okay, that definitely hurt. Lish trying to tank, that can only end one way, and it's not going to be well. Let's try to take care of this Lish. Now we can get the big guy. Heal. Okay, now we can take care of the last one. There's the Flish Beam. Stay away from it while it's glowing like that. There we go. And last but not least, just cleaning up the bombers that apparently are going to park it in the wall once again. Can I step on this by chance? No? Okay. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, now the bomber's here. Now the bomber's gone. We can clean this one out. And there is the dungeon. And another stasis lock. So perfect. If I'm upgrading a weapon, it will not break if I'm starting to push for those higher tiers. Is there background music for the alpha? As of this moment, I'm going to double check my audio settings, actually. I think I've got everything turned up to full. So yeah, absolutely nothing music-wise. Maybe we could put on a little something in the background. I can put on one of our usual gaming background music setups here for a bit. Yeah, thanks for bearing with me for the start there. That was a little bit of a crunchy and rough start, I'm not going to lie. But again, as always, with this being pre-alpha, there is still plenty to be worked on. There are some things that aren't going to necessarily behave properly. Whether it be the bonded penguin, whether it be the crunchy music, or not the crunchy music, but the country audio. The crunchy audio. It can all be fixed, and thankfully the devs have been very receptive to everything that we've been talking about. I'm hearing servers down, but yet I'm still in game. There we go. Now we're back in action. Catching up with chat here. So water is the best for solo players. It'll be interesting to see how the other classes and affinities do. Absolutely. Definitely need a sword spin attack. Missing a stun. I mean, I have an interrupt because of that dash, but not like a true stun. Stunning is reserved for bulwarks, potentially. That would definitely make sense. And there are 2 abilities not yet available. That is very true. For the affinity side of things, there are the 2, the Flash Wave and the Unstable Embers, both locked. And then the class as well also have 2 locked abilities on each tree. So the goal now, I've reached out to the Discord to see if anyone would like to join me for a little bit of the Hollow. The Hollow is the first boss or raid instance that I think you can take on. Technically, I believe the minimum level is 10, but it does go up, it does scale, just like the, or not just like, but with the raids themselves, they do eventually have an endless difficulty scale. Right now in the playtest, you can go all the way up to difficulty 12, but at the same time, not necessarily every difficulty works as intended. But I want to see how far we can go nonetheless here today. Clear out the waves here for a second. Go. Yeah, so through this portal is where we're going to be going. Just quickly reaching out to the Discord. If nobody's available, that's a-okay. We'll just try and showcase it as solo. In theory, I think I should be able to do the 2 early difficulties myself. And then maybe we might be able to sneak in and do the one that's near the Obelisk right after that as well. We'll see, though. That one's minimum level 30, and I'm personally not level 30, at least as of yet, on this restarted account. If I had my Penguin, I'd feel a little bit better. That thing was basically level 40, but I kind of wrecked it, or for lack of a better term. But what I can do for now, we'll see. Oh, Dr. Spoon! There we go, Doc. There we are. Good to see you. We can invite you. Says the invite has been sent. There we go. Perfect. Now, Dr. Spoon's probably a lot higher level than I am, looking at that health difference. So, Doc will be ready to carry me, I imagine. How did I capture a level 39 Pengu? So I was 16, it was 24. And then was able to basically exclusively use the Slap-In as my Illuvial of choice. So it gathered so much experience, it was very, very good. But I did, of course, kind of screw myself by using the bond system here. Kirito, good to see ya. There we go. Kirito, they're on probably just as much as I am, so I imagine they're definitely up there. So Dr. Spoon's level 37. Kirito, I imagine, is borderline 40, if not 40 already. Beautiful snail coming on through here from Dr. Spoon. Beautiful Axon coming through as well. Love to see it. Even though I tend to keep killing these damn things. And I think 3 is enough to do this. Let's give it a shot. So the idea with my class being a water fighter I'm taking kind of inspiration of, say, a paladin that you would see from World of Warcraft, where as much as I'm in the mix of things going melee, I'm mainly still focused on being supportive. So using my wave, for example, getting everybody else power boosts, or getting the heals onto people. That's going to be my intention. Had to scrap your level to Tipo because of a bug. That definitely hurts. Tis the nature of pre-alpha. That definitely hurts. Alright, Doc is set. Archie would be fantastic, 100%, and I wish I had my Archie from my last account, because that thing was an absolute monster. Okay, so let's see, we can start the battle, I think. How do we start the battle? I'm not used to being the party leader, this is weird to me. Oh, there we go. Alright, there he is, the Hollow, the lizard fella. Let's go get him. I'm going to drop the heal immediately onto everybody's Illuvials, drop the power. Now I get to come play with a little bit of damage. The ads are here. We need to kill these very quickly, because the Hollow will eventually use an ability that tethers onto everybody. And in those muddy pools, or in those pools, we do then have to get the orbs inside of them to break it. As of this moment, though, I personally do not see the orb, so we're just going to try and heal through it. This is the easiest difficulty, level 15 on the Hollow. Let's see if I can keep my Doka alive. Everybody else is looking pretty healthy, all things considered. Maybe here, take the Doka out for a second, drop him back in, right inside the Atipo. We need to get out of the mud, though, out of the poison. Get the orb. In theory, I should have just gotten it. Can't tell if I did or not, unfortunately. Heal right in front of the boss. Power boost. Or not a Tipo, Doka, come back. My Doka will probably end up falling here in a second. Hollow. Or Hollowling. There's the heal. There we go. Get Flish involved to help me with a couple of these Hollowlings. Difficulty 1, success. And of course, you can keep going for more. Okay, so we can level it up to, say, level 2. One thing again, too, I don't think I reset my talents, right? So my heals were just basically non-existent. Oh, I didn't even do that right, all things considered. Now, where did you go to start the boss? Oh, literally right there. Trying to click it. No luck at actually getting it to pop up. There we go. Now this one's still showing up as level 15. Empath Fighter is actually Templar. Yes, 100%. Okay, where are the orbs? Did they come out yet by chance? Flish, get out here. Lots of poison coming on through. Get out of the poison, out of the poison. Yeah, the orbs aren't showing up for me. There would be orbs that you normally have to collect to break this tether. The damage stops, and then you would be able to take advantage of the boss while it was in a stun-like state. But the tether does not seem to be here right now. Or not the tether, but the orbs, rather. A dash is deadly in this boss where there's all this poison. Got the heal in a decent spot that we can still fight in. Get out of there. Maybe let's use Grocko for a second. No need. The Atipo and Doc gonna finish a job. Nicely done. Now, was that even level 2? It's showing me level 1, oddly enough. Let's bump it up to 3. Let me reset my talents again. Hold to register. I'm trying to. Okay, come on now. There we go. Now just waiting on Kirito. There we go. Hold the force. There we go. Level 25. Here we go. This is going to be a little bit tougher now. I could very well get smoked. Okay, Grocko, get in there. I don't have damage, but I can provide support. Tether should be coming in just a second, I imagine. There it is. I don't see the orbs again, so we're going to be very similar to the last round. Heal on everybody. Nice Omega from Spoon to Tipo. More boosts, everybody. I completely whiffed that one. Maybe I hunt HoloLinks for a moment. Keep myself in a spot where I'm killing off the ads, but I can still keep providing buffs to the rest of the team. Yeah, just keep firing it off that way. Drop a heal in here. Watch the poison. There we are. Heal coming. But yeah, these HoloLings are starting to get pretty crazy, though. Not gonna lie, there are a lot of them. I think in terms of HP, though, it's just me that's really getting smoked. Which is fine, because I'm the lowest level here. I want to try and fight these guys inside the healing zone. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, this dash ability is very dangerous. I need to get my Grocko out of there because we are just sitting inside of so much poison, and that's why he's not taking really any damage. He's just healing because he's sitting in the poison. Grocko, come back and heal for a few moments. Alright, Grocko, come back. Yeah, because see, anything that sits there is just going to keep healing the boss. So see how the Atipo, it held it there for a little bit, and this boss basically took no damage. So definitely got to be careful. But thankfully, I don't think there's an rage timer. Oh, we did actually get the boss into its stun state that time. That's kind of nice. Kirito's very low. I need to get the fuel off here for them. There we go. Now they're back in the thousands. Can we keep the Atipo alive? We're barely going to be able to do so. Killed one. Hopefully that dropped an orb. The orbs are not showing up again, but that's okay. Very low. The Atipo's going to end up falling here in a second. Yeah, this is absolutely messy because we keep them stuck inside this damn poison. There's actually so many hololings that I think we're going to get swarmed here. I'm not sure if there's a correlation or not, but maybe with how often we're inside the poison, maybe it actually increases how much hololings show up. Because, yeah, I think that one's a do-over. I'm going to have to try that again. Let's see, do I have to redo my talents again? Oh, no, it's a full heal. That's alright, do-over. What is the cooldown after an Illuvial dies? It is then 1 minute before you can use it again. It is a pretty cool boss fight, though, I do agree. Explainer, don't like the boss combat as much, which had some dopamine spikes. It feels like an exhausting fight. That's basically MMO rating to a nutshell, though, right? It's usually a bit of an endurance test. But the reward that you feel after the fact is fantastic. Alright, the land of Atipos. Let's try this again. Alright. I'm gonna pull my Atipo out here for now. See if we can kill off some of these guys. I imagine there's going to be some pools coming through here in a second. I'm about halfway close to dead. There we go. Yep, come after me. That's fine. Over here, buddy. Keep coming. Now I need somebody to trade off quickly. There we go. Perfect. Where's my damage? I didn't heal my flish from the last fight, so it's a bit of a unfortunate moment. Cannot tell if I got the orb or not. Okay, flish, come back. Yeah, we're getting a little overwhelmed here. Back it up, back it up. Valente, probably just going to let it fall here in a second. Okay, he's not touching the poison technically. And I'm so used to being a Scion and just being able to shoot these guys no matter what. But yeah, I have to watch my footing big time here. Was definitely spoiled in that regard. These things just sit there as well. It's ranged instead of some sort of melee. Flish, come back. Try and clean through. We're just going to be dropping poison all over the place. Flish move. And then, yeah, once again, I think we're just going to get swarmed down eventually. Gonna just try and burn the boss, honestly, at this point here. Let's see if we can keep it out of this poison and maybe get the kill if we're lucky. We have a ton of damage incoming from all of these damn hololings, but as long as this boss isn't on poison, we might be able to get the job done. Oh, no. We'll probably fall here in just a sec. And yes, that audio do be crunchy, my goodness. A dedicated bulwark class would be really cool, because it does feel like water fighter is kind of like the only like middle ground in terms of tanking, so to speak. Try one more. Yeah, the orbs don't spawn, so how should we handle this? Do we just ignore the intended boss mechanic and just burst them down but keep them out of the poison? They do spawn, but you can't see them. Okay, that's frustrating. Okay. We'll try this one more time. If this is where we get roadblocked, it is what it is. Oh, Badul's here. 1 second. We can get a fourth. Oh. It started already. Sorry. Badul, next time by, we'll get you in here in a second, okay? I didn't even hit the button, and it just sent me in. Rocco, bring it back, and not in the poison. This is definitely much harder to do this build melee compared to ranged, my goodness. It is doable. And once I can get my rhythm going, it's actually pretty fun. It is, like, it feels strong. But I'm just running into what feels like everything that could potentially move. Rocco, come on back. Yeah, we are... I wonder what causes the spawning of these hololings, because, yeah, this is a little excessive. We're definitely doing something wrong. I might need to reboot my, my game real quick, too, because I don't know if you can hear this. I thankfully have the music kind of going on in the background as well, but, sheesh, we've got absolutely cooked. We'll try it one more time here with Badul and see how it goes. If he's here. Might not be here. Oh, Monster's here. Try Pengu for one round? I can try, but I'm probably going to get one shot. Yeah, it got wide. I guess we try this one more time as 4. Party is too large. Oh, you could only do 3 for this. Okay. Alright. Got what I wish I could do is have you go in and then I just spectate it and commentate it. That's honestly what I wish I could do. But here, let's go for it. I can definitely give Pengu a shot, but I very well might just massively be debuffing myself. I also don't want to put my own poison onto me. Let's see. Do I start dying when I summon them? No, but then what are my stats? Yeah, I have 0 resistances. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that to you guys. Let's take Penguin off. That makes me sad. I was ready to showcase him and show him off here today, but I'm probably gonna have to build a brand new Pengu, so I don't just consistently die. All right, let's try this as level 2. Get Monster warmed up. Unless Kirito, you want to bump it up to 3, that's fine. Or is that something only I can do? Alright, come on now. See, which terminal will allow me to do it? So there we go. Alright, then Monster. Then one of these terminals, whichever one it will let you click, hop on into. Okay, he's got it. And as soon as we see their name there, we'll give this another shot. Yeah, it's just a matter of the terminal actually showing. There we go. Now it's good. Force start. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. Let's do this. Alright, here come the mob. Maybe Kirito and I just focus on the same mob, potentially. That I'll just chase whatever they're going after. Then switch back up here. There is no poison, so I'm okay to drop my heal, I think, right here. Now we gotta be careful. Come back, flish. From afar. Yep, we gotta get out of there. I wish I had a way to move these hololings, because I'd love to be able to clear a path. Because now it's actually at the point where I don't want to kill some of these hololings, because the poison is just going to screw with them. Yeah, we got to get out of there. Actually, they might just be standing on the one pixel that was not actually spilling poison. I think that's a good enough heal to give everybody here. Boost up Kirito. Monster unfortunately went down. If I can get there, maybe I can res. A little bit slow, but it can work. Let me get you back up here. Heal there if you can sit on it for a few minutes. There you go. A few moments. Out of the poison. The hollow is almost gone here. It looks like at this difficulty, we might be able to just burn it anyway. I'm zipping all over the place here, apparently. Yeah, just kill it now. There we go. Level 2, able to do it. Success. Yeah, just the hardest thing to remember is to keep them out of that poison pool. Okay, let's make sure that all my guys are healthy. There we go, top everybody off here. Okay. So I figure let's try this one more time at difficulty 3. This is where we got roadblocked before. And then, assuming we do get killed out here, maybe we take a look at Boras, the other raid boss that we know of. And then maybe for the last half hour or so, I'll try to catch a new carry of sorts. We'll go hunting for something special. I only have 4 tier 2 shards, but if I'm lucky, maybe we can find a new carry for another stream. There we go. There they are. Is it easier to make shards than it used to be? Not easier to make, but it's easier to find now. So I definitely recommend, when you eventually get the opportunity to play this for yourself, is that you actually take some time and put some levels into mining. Just constant, and all you do is just go and like mine whatever rocks you possibly can. Because the higher rocks you mine and the higher your level, the better your odds at finding like common shards or uncommon shards and so on and so forth. Finding those harder to find rocks or those harder to find shards for capturing is now way easier as long as you put time into mining. I know I should be getting one of these. Pop a heal right on the boss. Okay, I shouldn't be popping a heal on the boss in that instance now, should I? Let's get out of here. Okay, everybody's within the thousands. If you're on the boss, I can at least heal you. There we go. Draco, come back. Flish, where are you? I killed off my Flish, apparently, so I gotta go Tipo instead. Wish I had just a hotkey, for example, or if I wanted Illuvial number 1, I just hit 1, so to speak. Not exactly, because obviously you have your abilities, but something along those lines. Heal on the boss if you need it. Heal coming back down. There you go. There are a handful of the... That's nearby. Kirito's got that one. There we go. Honestly, I'm just going to try and heal through it. The orbs, for whatever reason, aren't spawning. So let's just try and sit in the pool and see if this works. We've already got this thing down to 3/4. Yeah, you're not limited to your mining energy either anymore, like how it used to be. So you can spend, like, I personally have spent, like, an entire afternoon just mining, at least on my old playthrough, on my old account. Monster, where are you at? Oh, it's gonna end up going down. Nope, 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 not yet. Back in the fight. Heal for Kirito. Poison. Tanking the boss, it looks like. There we go. Axon's got it now. We got a nice little spot here where he's actually not standing in the poison, and there we go. We kill it level 3. Very, very nice. Oh. I wonder if they have a bond to their Illuvial that was causing that by chance. Or is my heal doing damage to you? Oh, you might be having the same issue that I was having before. Yeah, that's just a main menu restart there. Yeah, I think we're gonna try. Let's see, try one more time. It is just the 2 of us now. I think we're gonna have to back out to grab monster again potentially, if they're just having a come in, come out menu problem. It doesn't look like I could actually even touch anything. Yeah, I can't even zone out. So 1 second, gonna have to back out. Oh. I broke it. Oh, there was an update. Okay. It kicked me out because it had the update. They're going to quickly do that, but that's an example, at least, of the very first boss. That thing escalates, and from the playtests that we were doing with Harry, it was really interesting because, like, some of the mechanics wouldn't show up on every single level, so to speak. Like, level 1 was basically a tank and spank with a little bit of additional ads coming on through. But then, like, say, level 2 and level 3, that's when you hear us talking about the orbs, where when the boss casts that tether onto you, that poison tether, you have to kill a hololing, take their orb, and then you get cured of that poison, of that poison tether, which then would stun the boss, which means you'd have tons of time to wail on them. And more mechanics just get added in the higher difficulty you go. But of course, with this being pre-alpha, with this still being in early testing stages, not everything's going to work properly. But the intention is there. And it does have me very excited, but very cautious at the exact same time too, though, because there's a lot of moving parts in this entire Illuvium universe. And this game is trying its damnedest to tackle pretty much as many as it possibly can. And my biggest fear is that we get to December and one of two things happens. Either it's forced to be pushed back into 2027, and if there is any sort of runway concerns, that is going to be very problematic for Illuvium as a whole. Or it gets pushed out, but there's still so many of these things that are just not working that it just looks bad. So I'm definitely rooting for the devs here, because they definitely have a lot of work still. But the fun is there. Like, I enjoy it. I still, when I log off at the end of the day, I'm thinking about what I want to do next. When I was told yesterday that because of the story glitch, that my ranger would not be able to progress, I was obviously a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, I was excited because I had the opportunity to start new. And, like, that was okay. But obviously, if anything like that happens around the actual release date, or post-release, that is going to be enough to turn off a lot of people. Now, granted, my sample size is very, very small because there are a lot of, especially Web3 games, that I personally have not given the chance because they just look terrible, to be completely frank with you. And with Obelisk Rising, with Illuvium as a whole, I think that they can be probably the best Web3 game out there. However, you can be the best Web3 game out there and still be a crappy game in the general audience sense, so to speak, right? So, I'm rooting for the devs. I want to see this happen. And even still, even though it's all buggy right now, they're still doing work. Like Kirito's saying here, they've done a fairly big bug fix yesterday, and they're working pretty fast to adjust and fix things. Even, I noticed things as well, like when I was mining. Before, when you would get a shard, it wouldn't actually update how many you had in your UI bar. They are making fixes, they're constantly on top of it. There's just a lot. And that can be nerve-wracking. Now, I'm just waiting for the game to patch over here. I think I'm at about 80% right now, so we're getting there. Yeah, 87%. We're just about there. Of course, this is still only the second stream of the week. I'm going to be continuing some more Illuvium streams over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, for example, we do have This Week in Illuvium, the news show that I do, going over all the top sales of the week, what the current arena meta happens to be, leaderboards, and much, much more. We'll be talking about all of that, as well as doing the Illuvium Arena House League's prizing from last week. Get all those packs nice and open, see what kind of awesome Illuvials you can walk away with for yourself. Maybe get them leveled up a little bit before the actual Obelisk Rising game is out. Thursday, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. Part of me is saying Obelisk Rising, but a part of me is missing the arena. I'm not going to lie, with how much Obelisk Rising I've been playing, I've not set foot in the arena in a little bit. And it's not because I don't want to, I've just been having fun with Obelisk Rising. And then, of course, Friday, we have Illuvium Arena House League. The House League registration page for those that want to participate, it is in the stream description if you'd like to come join us completely for free in either the Kara Blue Cup if you want to play with ownership off, so you don't have to worry about having your own Illuvials or worry about their levels. You can play in that league. The prizes are a little bit smaller compared to then the Monarch Masters, which is the ownership on mode. So everybody, their collections and their own levels for the chances at some bigger prizing. So if you would love to join us, I'd love to have you. Of course, I cast those basically like an esports event, like a mini tournament of sorts, every single week. So I'm looking forward to that once again here. The big adjustment to Monster, Illuvial, and Level and Spawns too. Oh, big time. I know, oddly enough, there are some people complaining in the Discord saying right now the amount of Illuvials that are showing up are way too much. But we have to remember that optimally, when this game comes out, it's supposed to have way more people on the ground with you, right? Actually playing with you, fighting you for every single one of those spawns. So I very much so think that it might even be slow right now with that in mind. Hector, good to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And then I definitely do worry, is even for the gathering side of things, like how is it going to be once people are all in battle? Well, not all in battle, but when it's a full server. How will it behave? Definitely very curious. Is there a burn mechanism in the MMO, like Fox said, burn your tier 5 for special abilities? Kinda. I'll go over that in a second. One arena game at the end of the stream. For this one, I don't think I'd have the opportunity to. I still have one more boss I want to go to. But we'll see what happens for Thursdays. Yeah, because part of me wants to figure out how to get this water fighter caught up. They took away my endless exploitable grinding spot, so I have to find another spot to try and level back up. But yes, there is actually a way that you can burn Illuvials, and that is through the bond system. We'll pop up here in just a second. You'll see how my penguin, for example, is level 4. That's because I caught a bunch of extra Illuvials, and I basically fed the penguin those Illuvials to get bonuses. I can't use this right now because the system's a little bit bugged, where it actually gives me a debuff that gets me one shot if I use it. But the intention is that you would be doing it that way. And then I do believe there is also the intention for burning in regards to the Illuvials when doing crafting. Like, you would be able to burn certain Illuvials potentially to then craft a staff or something like that. Do I like the new Overwatch? Or the Overwatch. You can tell I've been around esports for too long. Overworld. So Obelisk Rising, I absolutely do enjoy when it works. And of course, again, this is pre-alpha, so this is still intended to be very buggy and have a handful of technical issues. And that's a-okay. But I'll tell you what, when it's working good, it feels great. Like, I close the game at the end of the night and I think about what I want to do next. And that feels great. Now let's see. There's just the 3 of us. Can I actually click this? Yes, I can. There we go. Now for this one, because the minimum level is higher, we might just die. It was not this dark last time, my goodness. Yeah, turn on the lights. But of course, there is that day and night cycle added to the game, which is still pretty cool. Now this fight going to be a little bit different. Let's start this off and see how we do. We've got the big Leviathan watching as we take on this absolute behemoth of a beast. I got touched for just a second and already lost like a quarter of my HP. You got the bombers flying on through here as well. They're going to be doing a bunch of damage with that ice. We saw that in the dungeons a little bit earlier. A classic raid moment. If there is a indicator of some sort on the ground, probably want to get out of dodge if possible. There's monster. They're getting poked at. I don't have a heal for you. Where's my Tipo? There you go. Get in there. Oh, that's a nuke on me. Let's get to the side. There we go. That's a blast for me. Let me go all the way over here. That way nobody else got hit. I'm trying to drop a heal right on top of the boss. If you can get in here, there you go. Yep, this is going to hurt here in a second. Bomber coming after me. Graco, stop the bomber. We lose monster. I don't have a heal for Kirito yet. Of course, right as I put it down, now we have an under indicator. Means my heal cannot do anything. Shoot at me this way, that's fine. Where's the heal? Gonna try and stay right here. And I will end up getting crushed in the end. That's weird though, I've never seen the boss fight actually get, or the boss fight area get affected by the day and night cycle here as well. You didn't grab candle! I did not. That's actually a pretty good points coming out here. Character, I got confused by the heals and the exploitations you have to avoid because they're both showing up as blue indicators of some sort, right? So that would absolutely be off-putting. Every time you play, you get more excited for the full release. Absolutely, same here. Wait. All right. I do got to get moving here, though. For now, we still got about half hour worth of stream, but I need to get some work done. Of course, I'm super happy, and I'm hoping that there is a patch, maybe already? Any chance? Wait. Let's see, if I spawn Pangu... no, it still shows as 0. Okay. The update did not have the bond fix, so... So here's the goal. I have literally a brand new character now. A little bit leveled, but I need to find something better than just tier 0s. I have a couple shards, but not many. I did not focus on my mining. I just tried the power level as best I could for the stream. Showing off your links, are you, Kirito? I see ya. slash pets. There we go. All right. So, I think for this last half hour of stream here, I'm thankful we had the opportunity to take a look at a couple of the bosses. But let's see if we can catch new carry. New carry in terms of supports, in terms of damage. Let's see what we can find. Atlas, I'm prone to killing these things, but I'd love to have a new tank other than a Grocco. I tend to kill these things notoriously, but there we go, 40-something% chance. Can we bring it home? Not on the first try, we won't. Of course you had your Omega ready, Flish. So I will continue to massacre every single axolotl that I find. My god. Okay, that's a Doka. I'm not concerned about a Doka. I'm looking for tier 1 and above. I want to walk it as best as possible. And anytime I'm going to a place where normally, say, a tier 3 or something spawns, I've seen one spawn before, maybe I'll kill it. Try and see if there's a respawn. Is that Archie? It is Archie. Lovely team. There we go. That can work. Good damage. Am I... Oh, am I rooted? Is that what's going on here? Let's knock it down. Just about a 50% chance. Flish, no! Okay, I'm turning... I'm switching it to something else. Wait. Did y'all just see that? Gems! Gems are in the game now. And why does that actually matter? We can fuse now. We can actually evolve. Okay, that actually changes the game big time. Okay, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to this. I'd advise you to stop trying to capture the Atlas line, but I like Atlas. Hexadon's one of my favorites. I just murder it all over the place. Yeah, Kirito, there you go. Gems are finally available. Is there an option to walk around without an Illuvial? You absolutely could if you really wanted to. Yep, you can take it down. I like having it with me because the additional damage is nice. In fact, I'm going to just kill off this Grocco. Sometimes we see some big spawns here. Stunned up by the Grocco. Do I have the damage to actually even take this guy on, I wonder? New objectives now, exactly. More goals to try and obtain. Yeah, I just want to kill this. One, for the experience, but also two, to reset the spawn on this. Now that it's doing this, honestly, I could probably just leave it be. The alluvial extinction begins. Alright, let's see. If I were to want the miners, a bunch of spots right there, can keep in mind. We're stuck already, are we? What are you? We run it back. With the mule, I think. Let's clean the way here, though, so we're not just getting absolutely swarmed by everything. And there is the mule. Wait, give me a minute to heal first, or are you going to fight me? Okay, let's heal first. At least the Doka's damage is consistent. Now, my chances, I'll start with the tier 2 shard, see what we can do. But we might resort to just tier 0s. Let's see what we can do. We're doing pretty decent damage. This would be a 3%. Yeah, I'm better off just using the weak shards, I think. Let's see, 1.5% chance to somehow bring a mule for the second time in a row onto the team. It's not going to work this time. I'm literally just going to bring it to 1% and just keep shooting. 1% and a dream. Any world where we can make this happen again on another playthrough. It was absolutely absurd that we did it twice in the other one. So far, not quite. Got maybe one more shot here if I can keep myself healed. But I didn't reset my damn talents again. So one more time for the mule. No chance. It will explode. It shall disappear. It was a valiant effort, I do think so myself, but it will run away. That would have been huge. Alright. Let's do this again. So plenty of areas to explore here. We still have 20 minutes, so I'm happy. Don't mind me, Slocko. I'll tuck away the Doka for now and just go. Maybe this tunnel wouldn't be a bad spot for me to try and power farm later. Our streamer can only do so much. Yeah, I can't go to that well every single time and expect it to work, right? Oh, I never got this teleporter yet. There we go. Maybe I could try this dungeon sometime here as well. This one over here is, I believe, a 40 plus. I mean, I've already got a Grocco. It's a nice one, but it's not what I'm looking for right now. Is the Jokul home? It is, actually. Sometimes it shows up here. It's not a guarantee, but it shows up often enough. That would be incredible. The odds are definitely not in our favor, but we're damn well going to try. Okay. Yeah, right next to Ramfire's hairball, you can find a Jokul. Let's see how we do. Boost. Pop a heal down. It would be absolutely silly if we whiff on a mule, but somehow bring the Jokul home. .3 of a chance. If I knock it down to low, it's... Honestly, I'm better off, I think, just firing off shards immediately. It's already doing so much damage to me, it's not even funny. Let's just spam it. Let's spam shards and see what happens. .3 of a chance. I have a handful of these tier 0 shards, so I'm not too worried. The chances are low, but you're telling me there's a chance. 0.3 is not 0. Yeah, I'm not even budging this thing, even with damage. Yeah. I have to try, though. Mule already did so much work for me in the last playthrough. Getting their evolved version would be absolute insanity. We're probably just gonna end up whiffing, but that's okay. A chance is still a chance. Maybe 2 more tries here. And 1 last try with a tier 1. 26. Yeah, that's nothing. It will break out. It'll take me out. And it shall leave by the wayside. We had to give it a shot. That would have been not game-breaking, but game-changing had it worked. And for the most part, just use a bunch of tier 0 shards, so that's fine. I got way more where that comes from. They definitely changed the density of the capture of the multiple chances you get. Yeah, that's kind of the thing that you have to play for, right? It's, do you want a lot of chances, but at lower percent? Or do you want to weaken the Illuvial to have a better shot? And for using the tier 0 shards, like, that's fine. You're just spamming. You don't care, really, right? You're just going for a low percentage play. But if I had, like, a tier 4 shard in that situation where I can bring it down to or bring it up to a 50-50, I would 100% want to weaken that thing. Okay, I'm probably going to have to go to either a different... No, I can't even go to a different region. I don't have my main account. So I have to actually kill these to get them to respawn. Try to respawn with something new. And then... I don't even need to catch the extras right now because I need to stay away from the bond system, if anything. So that's what keeps getting me into trouble, right? I keep trying to power up something and then I end up striking a bug. This is why we can't have a pity bonus on catching. Yeah, a pity system in this would make no bloody sense. I would never want something like that. Damn Grocko stun. And again, I'm not trying to catch it, but what I'm trying to do is reset the encounter so something else spawns here. I have a bunch of tier 0s, but I would love to get something other than that sometime soon. There we go. Oh, okay. So there we go. So killing the Illuvial will give you a gem respective of its tier and affinity. Because that makes sense. We got the common, which was the tier 1 gem when we killed the Archie. And then we just got the tier 0 water gem for killing off the lesser water Grocko. So there's actually a purpose to willingly and intentionally kill the Illuvial. Before that wasn't the case. So like if I wanted to evolve an Atlas, or not an Atlas, if I wanted to evolve one of the tier 0 water Illuvials, in theory, if I kill this thing, if Dokkaebi over here could actually wake up, answer the phone, and take care of this Illuvial for me, that'd be nice. But it's not a guarantee, it looks like. I was curious if it was a guarantee. So no, it is chance. But that's good. I don't think, actually, originally... That's a slapping. Can we run it back? This thing's much lower level. But I have a tier 2 shard. Blish, I do not trust you with this encounter. Graco, I do. Come on. Stop dabbing on me. Let's go. I need you for the team. The chance is not going to be high. 16% chance to bring the slapping back onto the team. Not the first try. Not terrible odds compared to the Jokel we were just dealing with. There we go. We got it back. We got the slapping back. And now, if I could find a few more of these to kill, and I get one more added to the team, maybe we can get stabbing sometime. There we go. Thank you, thank you. All right, slapping. We did this with your sibling a little bit earlier. But come back over here. Farm with me, my friend. Let's kill literally everything we see. Pretend like this is the arena. Close your eyes and go absolutely incredibly nuts. Have a heal. That's a slap. God dang it. There we go. Go, my dear Pengu. Find an Illuvial, that's fine. Just kill it anyway. So I want to see if we get a drop on those gems again. Illuvials definitely do take a lot to punch down. It's weird for me to be the carry now in this instance. Not necessarily the penguin yet. But eventually it'll be an absolute monster. I wish you could have seen it a little bit earlier when the penguin was going nuts. Prior to stream, before I bonded it. I could literally sit at one of these spots and just kick my feet up and just let the penguin go nuts. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. And we shall try to raise a new monster. I'll look at a couple of these other spots too. Maybe we can get another one. Or not necessarily another penguin, maybe another big pickup. Still got plenty of tier 0s that could have their spots changed. They hold the line pretty well, especially my Flish, all things considered. Alright, this one will be a bit tougher, but let's try it. Pop a heal immediately when we go into this one. Yeah, it's much nicer now that this one doesn't give me 0 resistances. Tipo, can you drop a gem for me by chance? Wait for my cooldowns to come back, then I can start using my abilities. Again, even though the ability 1 comes out very quickly, there's a lot of end lag on it. Like, if I just try to mash the auto attack after using it, it doesn't actually come out quickly at all. So you want to kind of line it up with another cooldown if possible. It doesn't matter which one, but just have something. Like I can go 1 into my power boost, 1 into my overhead. Yeah, I think this spot right here is probably my new favorite spot for farming. Like, look at this. We caught this guy at, what, level 12? We're already at level 15. Anytime you see one of these purple portals like this, I think that's meant to be an indicator, like it's supposed to be a dedicated farming spot. Because watch this. Like, I can sit here, unless the game wants to troll me a little bit, we'll see. But that's always possible. But at least earlier, I can just sit here and go from enemy to enemy to enemy. And just continue to have them spawn in, just like that. Next one comes in, perfect timing. Might be okay to bond the two, but would need to test. I'm going to test on something other than the slapping. That's for sure. Yeah, because I'd love to have the affinity boost, get the 20% extra damage associated with the bonding. But if it's going to cause me to be a glass cannon, especially for the playstyle that I'm going for, would be very counterintuitive, unfortunately. The future Illuvium Bank, can I bum a gem? Honestly, there's a few instances where I can see player trading being possible. Now, I'm not going to say play to earn, not in the slightest, but I can see like just some like old school auction house, Stormwind, like auction house kind of stuff where you're just buying certain resources off of each other. Because I can honestly see a world where gems and then shards could be something very, very valuable. The one thing that's going to be very weird, though, is I don't know how a normal, everyday player is going to be able to progress without learning and leveling mining. Because that was always a thing with other traditional MMOs, is that you can essentially go the entire game without needing to learn a profession, right? It was kind of like an extra built in when you were tired with questing. But I feel like with the way it's currently set up, since there is no in-game vendors, nor is there currently any sort of auction house-esque kind of system, that you kind of have to have your mining leveled if you want shards at all. And I imagine people are going to be wanting to play a creature capture game to catch creatures. So mining isn't really optional, is what it seems like. So a big boost in DPS on Bonds level 2. And then Bonds level 3, you started taking massive damage. So it might be the class affinity then that is screwing with us. Yeah, I know Perry was already aware that something was going on, but maybe we break that down a little bit further. There we go. It's getting to the point where I barely even have to maintain this penguin anymore. It's just doing so much damage. Tell you what, come Thursday's stream or whatever we happen to end up doing, I'm still figuring out exactly what I want to do. Whether it be more Obelisk Rising, whether it be Arena, it'll be Illuvium one way or another. But this Pengu will be a part of it, as long as my account doesn't get bricked or there isn't some sort of mandatory wipe. Which, of course, could very well happen. This is an alpha. This is meant for testing. As happy as I am to have the penguin, I don't get to keep this thing. Yeah, we're getting to the point where we're actually beating the spawns. There we go. We'll do one more lap back, see if we can catch anything new. Once we kill the Flacco. But there we go, slapping. You're almost caught up to me now, level 20. Just from a couple of minutes work. Beautifully done, buddy. Notice any difficulties attaining resources puts the premium rewards of effort. But I mean, that's just... You all saw that, right? What the heck was that? That bad guy should now be called the Magnum. Because that was out of this worldly. But that's MMO in a nutshell. Like, there's supposed to be these big grinds or these big things that you have to work for. But the feel good or the power boost you get once you obtain it is like nothing else. So the premium rewards of or premium effort, definitely true. Alright, anybody home up here? Sometimes I've seen some tier 1s up here. It looks like it's just a Fleesh this time. This right here is honestly my favorite mining spot in the game once you get to level 15 and higher. So many of these silver nodes makes getting common shards and uncommon shards, at least personally, extremely easy. Just then once you get to mining level 40, you gotta find another spot that then has the level 40 rock. Because then I think your chances at getting uncommon and even rare to tier 3 shards go up. Item in a reward chest. That'd be funny. Valente, you're very high level, but I'm gonna still let you be. Anything tier 1 or higher, that's gonna be a Flish. Go through the cave real fast. That's just a Tipo, it looks like. That's so huge. I'm very thankful we were able to find another penguin to replace the one that I broke. So I was honestly having a lot of fun with it. Another Tipo. Clean up that real fast. On the contrary to what I was saying about mining, how I feel like that's going to be a must for every single player playing the game at all, I honestly cannot think of a purpose right now to do any harvesting. Because right now for harvesting, you do get the plants, the essences, very similarly to what you would do if you played Overworld. But the essences right now, you've got the tier 0 one, which is just a heal, which is still very valuable, don't get me wrong. Being able to pop this thing essentially whenever on just a small cooldown, keep myself in the game, is very valuable. But the other ones you can kind of do without unless you're truly trying to min-max a boss. And I don't see really any major purpose for it right now for the average player. Do we know what happens to fusion in regards to bonding? I assume it gets reset. Honestly, we haven't had the opportunity for that kind of mechanic to even, like, combine together, so I have absolutely no idea. It'd be nice if it didn't reset, if it carried over a little bit. But I have no idea if that's actually the case. I'm just happy that there is finally the potential for evolution in this game. It's a big accomplishment for players every time they hit something like that. I know it's something I've been dearly missing. Yo! Mammoth! Oh, Mammoth and Doka at the same time. This is annoying. Oh, the Mammoth takes so much damage just by tickling it. Okay, buddy. I'm not trying to climb you, I promise. Don't fling me. I'm literally trying to just tickle this thing down. If there's a purpose for a tier 2, it's this. One more. Don't crit. 6%. Any chance. We're down to the tier... No, we still got tier 2s. 6% again. Come on, low chances. Okay, tier 1s, tier 1s. Taking a lot of damage. 2%, almost 3% chance. Get me the Mammoth. That'd be so cool. Not yet. Still got 3 more in the pocket. Nope. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. One more try, one more try. No, no, no. Ah! Jumping on top of Mammoth. One more try for a 2.5% chance. No, we will end up losing it. Oh, that would have been incredible. That's the first time I've ever seen the Mammoth spawn there. That's brand new. But that's what I love. The fact that it seems like these rare Illuvials can just pop out of any location makes it worth walking instead of fast traveling, if that makes sense. Ah. Damn, that would have been so cool. I'm happy with the penguin, don't get me wrong, but a mammoth. A little bit of envious of JB. I know they've got their own mammoth right now. But I think it's time to go home for today. But I thank you all for sticking with me here. I know that was a bit of a crappy stream, to say the least. It was not anywhere near as cleanly put together as I would normally try to do here for one of our streams. So I do apologize for that. I know with the issues we were having in the dungeon there, and then with the penguin, I had a lot in mind that I wanted to do here for today that kind of unfortunately got hampered a little bit, and I did affect, say, the raid bosses that we did. It affected the dungeons. I know it's not necessarily the greatest showcase that I could have done in regards to the boss fight, in regards to the dungeons, but I will absolutely level up and try to do it again sometime in the very, very near future. And I just hope that everybody's still enjoying the Obelisk Rising side of things. I'm absolutely still having a blast. Those big euphoria moments where you find that rare Illuvial, and then even trying this Paladin-esque kind of build that I'm going for, or this Templar build, rather, with this more of a supportive fighter kind of style. That's been a lot of fun already. I just got to get it caught up to where we were when I was level 41 on my Water Scion. But again, of course, that is the nature of a pre-alpha. There is absolutely going to be wipes. There's going to be, I imagine, some resets. And there's the chance that you could just straight up break your save. But of course, I'd rather it happen now than happen in December when it would happen with my actual character. So I'd rather it happen now. Happy to be able to have the opportunity to be a part of this playtest. Happy to be allowed to stream it at the exact same time and showcase the world of the Obelisk Rising, World of Illuvium with all of yous. And I look forward to much, much more in the very, very near future. In regards to streams for the week, of course, I touched on a little bit earlier, but tomorrow we're going to be doing This Week in Illuvium, or any Illuvium Universe news we're going to talk about, as well as doing all of the House League prizing from last week's Illuvium Arena House League. Looking forward to seeing whether somebody pulls a big one just for playing a free-to-enter tournament. That'd be not too bad now, wouldn't it? Of course, if you want to get involved in this week's Illuvium Arena House League, that's going to be happening on Friday. We're going to be doing it the same way that we did last week. Casual mode strictly for Caribou Cup. And then the Monarch Masters will be all of the ownership on modes. But of course, a tougher lobby equals higher prizing. So looking forward to seeing everybody. The turnouts over the last couple of weeks have been absolutely fantastic. Loving that we're getting our veterans back out here. Loving that we're seeing some new faces as well. It is an absolute blessing to be here day in, day out, week in, week out. And thank you all, with the entire community as well, for coming in and hanging out day in and day out, regardless of which Illuvium title I happen to be playing. In regards to that, I'm still trying to think what I want to do for Thursday. If I have a specific goal in mind that I can then push towards Obelisk Rising, I think I'll do that. But I don't want to just play Obelisk Rising for the sake of playing Obelisk Rising. I want to have some sort of goal in mind, something that we can work towards and do it that way, and not just farm, if that makes sense. So if I don't have a specific goal in mind, it doesn't mean that the game's not good. It just means that I'm in a spot where I need to power level a little bit. And just need to focus on gathering resources for a little bit. Stuff that wouldn't necessarily make for a great stream. So if something like that happens, we'll be playing Arena on Thursday. But one way or another, I'll absolutely be here. As always, if you happen to be new here, or regardless, on the way out, if you could drop a sub and a like onto the channel. I've been trying to grow this channel strictly off of Illuvium since August of last year, and it's been an absolute blast. As long as I'm having fun, I'll keep doing it, regardless of whether it makes sense to or not, if that makes sense. But we shall close out here. Thank you also so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for This Week in Illuvium. Take care, everybody.